The Temple of Zyazora was said to have been built by a long-forgotten civilization, one that possessed knowledge and power beyond our understanding. The group of adventurers who stumbled upon it were a diverse bunch. There was Marcus, a seasoned explorer with a reputation for being fearless. Leela, a skilled linguist with a talent for deciphering ancient scripts. Aley, a young but gifted archaeologist with a passion for uncovering secrets. And Jax, a rugged outdoorsman with an uncanny ability to navigate the unforgiving jungle. As they ventured deeper into the temple's heart, they began to unravel the mysteries of Zyazora. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the group soon discovered that the temple was imbued with a powerful magic that seemed to respond to their presence. It was as if the temple itself was awakening from a long slumber, and the adventurers found themselves at the forefront of this ancient ritual. But they were not alone in their discovery. A rival expedition, led by the enigmatic and ruthless treasure hunter, Victor Vex, had also caught wind of the temple's existence. Vex was notorious for his ruthless tactics and willingness to do whatever it took to claim the treasures of Zyazora for himself. As the two groups converged on the temple, tensions rose. Marcus, ever the pragmatist, advocated for caution and diplomacy. Leela, meanwhile, became increasingly obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the ancient script that adorned the temple's walls. Aley and Jax, however, found themselves at odds over the true nature of the magic they had discovered. And then, there was the strange occurrence that would change everything. As the two groups converged on the temple, the air grew thick with tension. Marcus and his team were determined to uncover the secrets of the ancient temple, but Victor Vex and his crew were only interested in plundering its treasures. But as they navigated the treacherous corridors and chambers within the temple, something strange began to happen. The magic that permeated the air seemed to be responding to their presence in unexpected ways. Aley started to notice a pattern in the ancient script on the walls, and Leela became convinced that she was on the verge of unlocking a long-lost language. Jax, meanwhile, grew increasingly uneasy as he sensed that they were being watched. And Marcus had a feeling that something was off, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. And then, just as they thought they were making progress, the unthinkable happened. Just as it seemed like they were making progress, the unthinkable happened. The group stumbled upon a hidden chamber deep within the temple, and what they found inside changed everything. The room was filled with ancient artifacts and relics beyond their wildest dreams, but it was what lay at its center that left them breathless. In the heart of the chamber stood an enormous stone statue, its face serene and enigmatic. But as they approached, they noticed something strange. The statue seemed to be glowing. At first, they thought it was just a trick of the light, but as they drew closer, they realized that the glow was coming from within. It was as if the statue itself was imbuing them with an otherworldly energy. Marcus felt a surge of excitement and trepidation as he reached out to touch the statue's hand. But, before he could make contact, Leela let out a cry of warning. "Wait," she exclaimed. "We don't know what this thing is or what it can do." But Marcus was too late. As soon as his skin made contact with the statue's stone surface, the room erupted into chaos. The air began to distort and ripple, and the group felt themselves being pulled apart by some unseen force. Aley stumbled backwards, screaming in terror, while Jax was lifted off the ground, suspended in midair. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, everything stopped. The distortion dissipated, and the group found themselves back on their feet, gasping for breath. But something was different now. They looked at each other, and they knew that they were no longer alone. Victor Vex's rival expedition was nowhere to be seen, but a new presence had emerged from the shadows. A new presence had emerged from the shadows. The group turned to see who or what it was, and their eyes widened in shock. It was Victor Vex himself, standing tall and imposing in front of them. But he wasn't alone. Behind him, like a dark specter, stood an ancient being with skin as black as coal and eyes that glowed like embers. "This is K-Rel," Victor Vex sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "The guardian of Zyazora secrets." K-Rel's gaze swept across the group, its eyes burning with an otherworldly intensity. Marcus felt a shiver run down his spine as he realized that they had disturbed something ancient and powerful. "You should not have come here." K-Rel spoke in a voice that was both familiar and yet completely alien. "This is a place of old power, and you are but mere mortals." Aley took a step forward, her hand on the hilt of her knife. But, before she could draw it, Leela caught her arm. Wait, Leela whispered. We don't understand what's going on here. We need to listen to K-Rail. Marcus nodded in agreement. He knew that they were dealing with forces beyond their comprehension, and caution was the best policy. But as he looked at K-Rail, he saw something in its eyes that made his blood run cold. It was a spark of recognition, a glimmer of knowledge that seemed to stretch back centuries. And then it hit him, the connection between K-Rail and Victor Vex was more than just coincidence. They were connected by something deeper, something ancient. As the group stood amidst the ruins of the temple, they knew they had to escape as quickly as possible. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and K-Rail's presence still lingered, waiting to strike. We need to find a way out of here, Marcus said, his voice firm but laced with a hint of uncertainty. But, what about Victor Vex? Leela asked, her eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of their missing companion. We can't just leave him behind. Aryan took charge, rallying the group as they began to move through the treacherous terrain. Jax led the way, his rugged outdoorsman skills guiding them through the dense jungle. As they fled from the temple, they stumbled upon a hidden glade, surrounded by towering trees that seemed to stretch up to the sky. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree, its trunk twisted and gnarled with age. It's some kind of gateway, Aryan said, her voice filled with wonder. I can feel it. Marcus nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. Let's see if we can use it to our advantage. With a deep breath, Leela stepped forward, placing her hand on the ancient tree's trunk. The air seemed to shimmer around her as she connected with the gateway. Wait, Marcus said, a glimmer of understanding dawning on him. I think I know what this is. It's not just a gateway, it's a key. A key? Jax asked, his brow furrowed in confusion. Yes, Marcus replied. A key to unlock the secrets of Zyazora itself. With Leela still connected to the gateway, the group felt an energy surge through them as they began to understand the true nature of the temple and its secrets. Victor Vex's possession by K-Rail was not just a simple curse, it was a catalyst for unlocking the ancient knowledge hidden within the temple. As the connection between Leela and the gateway grew stronger, the temple itself began to change. The walls crumbled, revealing hidden chambers filled with ancient artifacts and relics. And at the center of it all stood Victor Vex, his eyes glowing with an otherworldly energy as K-Rail asserted its dominance over him. You see? Marcus said, a hint of sadness in his voice. K-Rail's power has already changed you. Victor Vex, or rather. K-Rail within him turned to face the group, a cold smile spreading across his face. Welcome to Zyazora, he said, his voice dripping with malevolence. I will claim its secrets, and none shall stand in my way. But as K-Rail began to assert its power over the temple, something unexpected happened. Leela's connection to the gateway and by extension, to Victor Vex himself allowed her to see beyond the veil of K-Rail's influence. She realized that there was a deeper truth hidden within the temple, one that went beyond ancient artifacts and relics. And with this newfound understanding, she knew exactly what needed to be done. Leela? Marcus asked, sensing a change in his companion. What is it? It's Victor, Leela replied, her voice steady but firm. I think I can save him. Without hesitation, Leela stepped forward, reaching out to touch Victor Vex's hand. The air seemed to shimmer as K-Rail's influence began to wane, allowing a glimmer of their missing companion's true self to shine through. As the group watched in awe, Victor Vex broke free from K-Rail's control, his eyes clearing of the otherworldly energy that had consumed him. With a look of confusion and fear, he stumbled forward, embracing Leela as if she were a lifeline. You saved me, he stammered, tears streaming down his face. And with Victor Vex freed from K-Rail's grasp, the group knew they could finally leave the temple behind. As they made their way out of the jungle, they couldn't help but wonder what other secrets lay hidden within Zyazora's ancient walls and whether they would ever be able to unlock them all. I hope this conclusion meets your expectations.